All right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We've got Basilisk's Reynor in the bottom left side of the map, Showtime in the top right. It is, I believe it's the round of 8, the quarterfinal set of the Monday Night Weeklies, number 18. Best of 3 series, Reynor and Showtime, 2 players who have been known to have absolute barn burners. If you look at their history over the last 5 years, Showtime has been, I would say, a thorn in Reynor's side when it comes to the early and mid game. It feels like Showtime is so good at getting ahead against Reynor, so good at stopping any attacks in the early game in their tracks, and it's so hard for Reynor to play this matchup against Showtime in the early and mid game. The weird thing is, Showtime struggles to finish Reynor off, and whilst it feels like almost every series they play, most games Reynor is a little behind or in a bit of a tough position, it feels like there have been so many epic comebacks in the last few years. I'm thinking of Sight Delta. Showtime had him dead to rights. Reynor comes in, flanks the army with ultras, neuroparasites every single immortal and Archon, and just obliterates a max Protoss army. Loses almost no Zerg units, you know, with the Blinding Cloud and Neural combo. Beautiful play. And especially neuroparasite infestors were a big problem. I remember talking to Showtime a couple of years ago at Katowice and going, dude, like, yeah, how is Neural a problem? Like, and I was saying, hey, do you need to actually mix in a disruptor or two? Because that can pop those infestors from far away. The problem he was running into, it was really hard to keep his High Templar in front of his army to feed back the infestors, because the ground army would come in first, and you can't have your High Templar standing out front. So I remember, you know, we kind of discussed it a bit, and he really was at his wit's end at that time. He could not figure out what he should be doing to deal with it. But we'll see if that comes in. It's been a little while since we've seen Neuroparasite specifically become a problem, but interestingly, Reynor's been doing a lot of like Ling Hydra Ultra, just kind of mobility-focused late game, where if he gets a big economy up, he's been kind of patiently playing the late game, and I do think that should, in theory, favor Showtime, but Reynor is absolutely clutch when under pressure, and he's really clearly practicing very hard here for the Esports World Cup. He's been putting in the hours, putting in the grind, and has a lot of timing attacks up his sleeve as well. Ultra Love, it's going to be a map where I imagine Showtime probably expands forwards. So you've got a nice choke point leading into this base. You can always collapse this rock tower, and then there's 2 rocks to be taken down to turn that into a big open choke point. Stargate on the way, as to be expected, and it was 4 Zerglings with 4 more already. I guess because it's Showtime, you need to over-prepare on the Zerglings, right? So a lot of players will even build 12 Zerglings against Showtime. I think 8 is probably the right number, but no, a few more Lings there do queue up. So because he loves to dive these 2 Adepts in, so you want to have 2 Queens out. You see he's got this Queen started before he started the 3rd base. So he wants those 2 Queens to intercept these Adepts, pull the drones away, and engage with the Zerglings. But he's a little bit slow to see it. Uh-oh. Already 1 drone goes down before Reynor can react. And that's a Zergling, a drone. Not too bad. Showtime, of course, taking no damage there. And he's forced a lot of Lings out, but Ling speed is going to be ready very soon. His Queen's not quite targeting the Adept that was heavily damaged, which means her shields will continue to regenerate. But a Spore Crawler going down in that main base in the natural. Creep is spreading. So the first Oracle's out, second one begins. No energy recharge at the start. Does want to save for Chronos. Oh, Adept's got to pull back. And that is a Zergling going down there as well. All right, 3rd Nexus is going to be down close to 4 minutes. So this is not a super greedy build. Showtime rarely does play those. And he's already got 4 Adepts out. Wow. I mean, that's why it's not so super greedy. Now, interestingly, he's gone Phoenix, not 2nd Oracle. Oh, which means I don't think he'll be building any extra Oracles this game. I expect a Twilight to go down any moment now. I was totally wrong. Fascinating. I mean, the Phoenix, if you're a Zerg, you're thinking, ooh, what are you trying to hide? But it's nothing. Look at this. He just goes 4 gas, 2nd Oracle. So it looks like, no, yeah, he's just doing a completely normal build, but he's making it a little bit harder to read. And look at that. Oh, it's the move. I wish Hero would do more. Probe on hold position in the wall off so we can send all 6 Adepts across the map. Oracle's going to join up with that. 2nd Oracle comes out behind it, and the Twilight Council now goes down in that main base. Meanwhile, Reynor up on 44 drones. He sees these Adepts now. He's got 14 Zerglings, but only 4 Queens. A little light on the Queens, and not quite enough Lings to totally just flood surround this. He needs to get back to track those Shades. I don't think he'll let the Shade finish, though. Showtime, he wants to force a lot of units out. He doesn't really want to throw these units away. The Oracle floats in, floats out. Phoenix on the left side, denying Overlords. Could come forward and push these guys back a little bit as well. Forge goes down behind, and a third and fourth gateway, no doubt. Yeah, there we go. Third and fourth gateway. Lair starts here at 5 minutes. And dead even on the workers between both sides. So this is usually where the Zerg wants to be running away with the workers, starting a fourth hatchery. Neither of those has happened just yet. Reynor, you could see, he looked up the top. It's going to be about a 5.5 minute hatchery. It's not too bad. Not when you're dealing with double Chrono Adepts into these Oracles. I think he's only lost one Overlord to the Phoenix, which is well done. He sees a couple Stalkers. +1 melee starts for Reynor. You can see the Phoenix. It's never going to kill these Overlords, but it can just push them back a little bit. He scouts. That was an important scout for Showtime. If you look at his vision, he just checked and he said, hey, the lair's not done. You don't have the lair? We are good to go. Showtime straight to 6 gas, which tells us the Templar Archives will be down any moment now. There we go, yeah. Super typical follow-up. Just Stalker Storm. Wants to be solid against everything. Of course, Storm gives you crazy value now with energy recharge. Looks like he's just used that on this Oracle, which is almost maxed. A bunch of Zerglings looking for the run by potential if the Stalkers get too active on the front, but everything's pulled home. Showtime's got that defensive square, and he's going to take a 5th base on the right side as well. Okay. Oracles, are they going to hide here? He could try to ambush. You know, they haven't been spotted. Wait for the drones to transfer, but no, he doesn't want to. Phoenix is going to pick up the Queen, and the Oracles will go for a dive. Just 3 drones. Doesn't go too deep. Doesn't take a lot of damage. Goes back for a stasis trap. Not the best stasis trap, but hey, forces a reaction either way. And if you want, you can do another one. Super cute move is you pick up the Queen, do a stasis on it, and then you drop it just before the stasis goes off. Is it worth it? Probably not, unless you were planning to use those spells anyway. And that's just a bonus thing. Oh my gosh, Hive starts immediately. Wow, it was a very late lair. Well, not a late lair, but not a fast one. And yet immediately goes Infestation and Hive with Lurker Den. So it's Ling Hydra Lurker. This style, potentially fragile. Right, I feel like if your opponent pushes when Storm finishes, with a few Archons and Zealots, that's where you could get in trouble with this style. If they kind of take the 4th, but don't build any probes from here, and if Charge was already upgrading, and then they push, and then like soon after your Hive's done, you get hit by Zealot, Archon, Storm, Stalker. That's the sort of attack that's very scary, because there's no Baneling Nest. There is a Roach Horn, so you can make Roaches, but you don't have Roach speed for them. Zealots are warping in, Charges on the way. Second Forge. Showtime gearing up for that late game. And a second... Actually, is that a second Evo, or is that the very first? No, that's a second Evo chamber for Reynor. He's going to go +2 melee. Now, this is something I used to be a lot more against. Early in this patch, a lot of people were making +2 melee, and I was like, dude, you're massing Hydras. Like, you don't have many Zerglings. And it really didn't make sense with the style people were doing. The way Reynor plays, though, you're going to notice he's very heavy on Zerglings. There is an argument for it. I still think... I'm still like... I'm in the middle. I'm like, you know... +1 range might be better since you're going heavy Hydra Lurker now, but he always has so many Zerglings because all of his gas gets dumped in Hydra Lurker, very gas heavy. He's got minerals left over. He's always got these Lings, and getting them to do more damage can be really effective. But look at this Cannon Battery Stasis Trap. Showtime's so turtly right now. It would have been nice if he got in the middle and set both Stasis Traps off with the same Zergling. 99 drones! What the fudgety oh my lord. I like these spores on the left. He wants to stop any prisms from crossing over into the main, but they're not ready just yet, and it is a storm drop, which means he could find a few workers. It's not super crazy stacked, but 7-8 drones, not bad at all. Saves those. You can see the amount of trading in this game. Like, we just passed 1,000 units lost, and that's combined between both players. 1 Zealot, all that's died on the Protoss side, 12 drones, 11 Zerglings, 1 Overlord. You might think, oh, that's almost 10-to-1 trading. Yeah, it is, but it's a very low-paced game. So it doesn't really matter. Like, there's so little trading going on. Reynor's over 100 workers. I mean, I do think this should favor Showtime, like I said, but it just comes down to how clutch Reynor can be in the late game. And Showtime, he's so good at surviving, but I feel like when the game gets a little dicier, a little messier, it's just, I mean, it's hard in general, I think, to finish off a top-tier Zerg player as a Protoss player. But I think for Showtime, yeah, he's kind of errs on the side of being ultra patient, sitting way back, still doesn't have a 5th base up. I think Showtime should take this 5th base on the right side. What do you guys think? Because then he could siege forward and try to pressure this base. I mean, it is more exposed. It depends. He's going to start sending Zealots around the left. Ling Hydra ready for it. Adrenal Glands and +2 melee, both almost finished. Once you got those, the Zerglings should smash these Zealots. Uh-oh. Reynor doesn't react in time, and the hatchery does get cancelled. Meanwhile, right side, oh, Showtime. Loses a few Adepts. Oracles do get out of there. These Zealots all go down. Obviously, you can just rebuild the hatchery. I don't think losing that's too much of a deal. Nidus Worm goes up there in the 5th base location. Tempests +1 air weapons are out. Spire's on the way. So Reynor, he's got range attack, melee going in. He's looking to get these Niduses going, but Showtime is well aware. Warps in a few Stalkers as the Nidus Worm pops up in the top left. The way Reynor's playing this, I've been very impressed that he's been winning a fair few maps in the late game versus top Protoss players. But I hope Reynor's practicing this not with the idea of this is the best way to play the World Championship. I think giving a guy like Showtime a pass to this stage in the game is not a recipe for success. I mean, but I think if you practice it knowing, look, inevitably, if I play multiple series against top Protoss players, I'm going to end up in some series that end up in the late game. Let's court that now. Let's not show my timings in the lead up to EWC. Let's not reveal our best timing attacks. Let's practice late game, beat people there, become an expert at it, and then we can be prepared. Massive attack. I didn't think he was going to commit here. Stasis Trap Storm, though, easily holding Reynor off. Sorry, I wasn't talking about it because I thought Reynor was posturing, but he really tried to shove it there, using that Nidus on the left to come in from 2 sides. But Stasis Trap's so good, and they do lock that army in place. I think the Stasis Traps are actually one of probably the biggest things that I was thinking about nerfing maybe a month into this patch. I was thinking, oh, these things are so annoying, especially in PvP, but I do think that's something that I've got to remember. Probably the more obnoxious out of all of the Oracle spammed abilities with the energy recharge, right? Did you guys know Stasis Traps used to be permanent, by the way? You guys can thank Scarlet for getting rid of that one. She massed Oracles for like quite a few months playing PvZ instead of ZvZ. She spammed a load of Stasis Traps. That was before energy recharge, but hey, if you made 4 or 5 Oracles, you could spam so many. Massling Lurker coming in on the left side. Great snatch. Oh, Reynor gets 2 Immortals and a few Stalkers. Remember, Lings are pretty cheap, so it's not a big deal losing these Zerglings. They're just minerals, not gas, and they're so cheap per unit. Lurkers on the high ground on the right side. Tempests in the wrong position. They need to get recalled here. There's a lot of infrastructure going there. A lot of static D, a lot of cannons falling. Great multi-prong. Reynor doing a really good job of sieging his opponent at max out. On that left side, Massling trying to get in. The Changelings going in. They're going to try and give him vision. Rogue has really changed the late game meta by telling people, hey, make more Overseers, get more Changelings, get that vision in there. A constant stream of Changelings is such an APM tax. You don't need to make 30 or 40, just a few. Zealot counter comes in, but the Lurker Hydra Rally should be able to deal with it. Nidus Worms in the main both go down. There are 2 Nidus Worms now. And the Tempests clear up that bottom right side. But 4,000 resources lost difference. Showtime's okay with it. He's got shields, armor, and +2 air attack coming in. And he sat on 4 base for a long time, which I was like, dude, why is he not getting a 5th? But I think it makes sense because he says, well, why give Reynor extra avenues? Reynor is a really good multi-prong player. He's so good at the multitasking. And, you know, don't give him an easy attack angle. Zealot comes in, gets a few drones, not bad. Nidus Worm in the main base. He's having to warp in a lot of gateway units. That's one really nice thing about these Nidus Worms. So if I was in Showtime's shoes, I think what I would do is I'd put cannons everywhere in the main and natural so that there's nowhere where a Nidus could pop without getting hit by cannons. I wonder if we ever see it get to that point. Like when a player's being this annoying, do you just put 1 cannon here, 1 here, you know, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and just like have your whole main and natural covered and then go, okay, I don't want to have to constantly run back into my main and natural. So it's like 1,000 minerals, 1,500 minerals. I feel like that investment's probably worth just because dealing with this is so annoying. Obviously, Showtime's a really good player, but look, the distraction on the front catches him out. Massive stasis traps for the Lurkers on the right side. Lings get frozen here. Massling Hydra comes in. There's so many storms. Oh my lord. Hydra's trying to fight Mama. Mama will take them down with the Zealot help. There's a lot of Lurkers there. There's Niduses in the main. There's nothing inside those Niduses. And oh, the Lurkers popping out of the stasis traps into a brutal situation. Meanwhile, these Overseers trying to fly through. A few Lurkers have popped out in that main base. Let's see what they can do. Is there enough detection? You know, Reynor's created enough chaos right now. There are still 2 Oracles alive, but it's hard to make sure you use everything effectively. Overseers getting slaughtered on the way out. And that is now 8,000 resources lost difference. Great multi-prong for Reynor, but Showtime handles it with poise. And I think now that he's got this 5th base on the right side established, he can kind of just focus on that right side front. Does lose a High Templar there. I mean, Reynor's doing a good job of sniping these units, but the pressure really is on Reynor to make some magic happen. And he's got, what air upgrades does he have? Only +1 on the air units. That's fine for now. If there's carriers that come out, it's a problem having such bad air upgrades, but against Tempest it should be okay. Did Mothership die? Mothership still didn't die as well. Oh, Hydra's gonna run in. Okay, High Templar and Archons get focused down. Nice little catch there for Reynor. Gets another Archon in the Immortal and then runs away. Should be able to lunge again in a moment, and indeed he can. There we go. He's gonna try and just pull back. Dude, this is really interesting because I think the way Showtime's playing is what I've always thought theoretically is the best way to play. But you so rarely see it pulled off. You have a bunch of Immortals in there in case there's an Ultra Swap, 4 or 5 Immortals. And then you just have like 6 Tempests. You don't want too many. I always feel like players habitually would build far too many Tempests. I feel like that he's got a cannon in range of that Nidus. Bottom right side base gets jumped on though. Oh, no time to get the cannon battery up. Rain is all over it. Rain is all over it. Nice cleanup. Gets the High Templar behind the mineral line as well. Oh, that's really good. Mama comes in. She does use Cloak, but there's Overseers there. Nexus goes down, and that's Reynor's first big victory. After many, many huge losses, notice how it's still 8,000 resource deficit. So that means, you know, he traded evenly in this last trade. If you're trading evenly, his EVP is usually pretty good. He hasn't started mine out any of the corners yet, but he's continuing to push forward. If he can get this base as well, where are those Tempests? They're busy cleaning up a Nidus in the top left. Uh-oh. Mama has to use the Time Warp there. Of course, it's very effective. But, oh man, these cannons actually killing quite a few of these lurkers. Mama's taking a fair bit of damage. The Hydras are like, oh my gosh, can you go down? Finally! Mama does fall, but with the Tempest here, Reynor's going to have to get out on this right side. Left side comes in, though, finds himself an opening. Lurker trying to get up behind the mineral line. There is an observer there, and yet by, though, on the right side, Lurker, Hydra continuing to push. He's really trying to make this as messy as possible, but the Tempests are just going to do so well. Hydra's getting chased down by the Zealot Archon on the left side. They all fall on the right side. He's got to unburrow and leave, and I think he may have stayed a bit too long there. 12,500 resource deficit. Showtime only on 4 bases, though. His income is dropping. Reynor's income, especially in the minerals, way higher. If Reynor can keep up this pace and then clear this 5th base one more time, the income differential is really going to matter. Top left base is up, bottom right base is up. If Reynor can keep transferring to those, which you can see, yeah, none of these... Okay, this base needs to transfer half of its workers. But other than that, he's doing really efficient. This one, he should also transfer 5 of these workers to the bottom right and 8 of these workers to the top left. If he can do that soon enough, his income will go back up above 3,000 minerals a minute, which he really needs to keep up this pace of trading. That's a lot of Zealots. Zealots have 3-2-3, so they're missing +3 armor. Meanwhile, another cancel on the right side. Great multi-prong here. Reynor not letting Showtime mine. Now, of course, you still need to eventually deal with the army, which is why Corruptors will eventually be necessary. But Reynor's trying to stay pure ground for now. Just Lings, Hydras, Lurkers. I really admire his tenacity. Is it going to be enough, though? Double Nidus in the main. More Zealots being forced to warp in. I feel like that's excellent. Every time you're forcing Zealots to be warped in, those are the units you can trade decently against, though. He's getting outnumbered on this left side. The Lurker Hydra does get cleared on the right side. The Lurkers have to pull back from the Tempest there as well. Double Nidus does get up in the main base. Is it going to be able to do anything? Lings in the natural clear 1 cannon. They get 2 cannons, and they'll take out a couple of probes before Mama does clear them up. Of course, Mothership with +3 air attack now. So that's going to make her clear Zerglings incredibly quickly. Only +1 carapace on ground for the Zerg units. Even these Lurkers take a fair bit of damage, and those ones are going to have to pick up to get out of there. Denying this 5th base one more time would be great. Showtime's kind of panicky. You can see he's misclicking it. High Templar in the open, getting caught by these Lings. 3 more High Templar in the open, but the Prism does save them. Great micro by Showtime as he cancels his misplaced 5th base yet again. Income, let's keep an eye on it. Reynor has transferred workers off this base and this base. That's why the bottom right is fully mining. The top left, mostly mining as well, at least halfway. So he's got 3 times the mineral income of Showtime. But problem for him, Showtime's army is now way bigger. Reynor may need to start throwing drones away because he's got to get that Corruptor supply from somewhere. If he doesn't get it, I don't know what he can do. And counterattacking is probably the best call, actually. This is the correct call. He's got to counter and just try to base trade it. Don't fight front on, I think is kind of the key for him. Lurkers on the right side, Hydra Link in the top left. Overwhelming before this cannon battery comes up. Great engagement here with the 3-1 Adrenal Zerglings, but he's got to avoid the frontal push of Showtime. Lurkers on that right side as well. Some Zealots do clear the bottom right side. Hydra Lurker will deal with it. Raider's multitasking off the chain right now. He has unleashed his multitasking, and Showtime engaging in a bit of a base trade. Is this the right call? Should he recall? New 5th base does get taken down right side. 4th base is about to get taken down. Showtime's income is going to be incredibly dry, but if he gets into the heart of the Zerg tech, that could be massive. Spire goes up in the top left side. Remember, there's only +2 air attack for those Corruptors. When they come out, 10 Corruptors do start up. Lurker Hydra moving down the left. Ling Hydra coming in from, the left and the right side. The 3rd base of Showtime is cleansed. And that is a very effective play for Reynor. Reynor up massively in the supply. It's clearly game over. I am kidding, guys. It is not. You might be thinking, what are you talking about, Pig? And that means you're very smart. Remember, worker advantage massive for Reynor. If they reset, this is great for him. That's a big if. Half the army recalls. Reynor's got to get out. He does catch himself an Immortal and an Archon. And another Archon, but oh god, the Hydras get massive stormed. They need to get out of here. Oh, he wanted those High Templar, but he's got to get out. Archon's catching them on the way home as well. Way too many Hydras just died there. You could see Reynor does not have the money to max back out right now. So even with all these reinforcements, it's giving him a slight army supply advantage. If he had a little more, maybe. I think those 10-15 Hydras going down is actually quite meaningful. 2 Hydras and 2 Lurkers here trying to fight Corruptors. Oh, if he can get that Prism, that would be big. Base goes down on the left side along with the Nidus. Army's very split. Reynor's got to be careful to not have too many units pop out and die in the midst of it. 2 more Hydras pop out and get taken down. He's got to gather his forces. Base trade may be his best option. I do think with the top left and the bottom right now functioning, 33 drones against 2, that would be the best bet. Of course, there's more stasis traps. Even Mama comes in, Mothership on her own, clearing out so many Hydras and Lurkers. She's got 19 kills, and she is right now a menace to Zerg society. More and more stasis traps. When did he keep throwing these down? Showtime. In the midst of everything, you've got to give him credit, guys. I don't think he lost an Oracle. He built 2 Oracles this game, and yet his stasis traps have saved him. His stasis spam has absolutely saved him in this game. And now Reynor just getting pushed in. The Hydra Lurker gets taken down. This is only a section of Reynor's army, of course. He just can't be fighting with this, but also, how else does he get these units out of here? He's got Corruptors on the other side of the map. They're going to have to come back now. Did he just kill the Mothership? Oh, he just dived the Mothership with the Corruptors. That's why they weren't there. Yeah, not enough Lurkers and Corruptors to try to hold the ramp. He wants that Archon, can't quite get it. For a second, those Hydras felt like they were very low range, but I think it's just trying to get 5 Hydras to clear an army. Always a long shot at the best of times, isn't it? Looks like 1 Oracle finally falls. It's the first Oracle to go down in this game. Hydra's running around the right side. They're going to try and click on a Tempest here. Corruptors do come in with a bit of a spready, but of course the Archons are going to have a party on those Corruptors. Oh my gosh, it costs so much. Oh man, yes, he's going to kill the Tempest, but at what cost? 1 Tempest even survives in the red. All the Corruptors go down. It looks like Showtime has weathered the Zerg storm. As I said, Reynor is courting late game. He is saying, hey CVP late game, do you want to go on a date with me? A nice candlelit 25-minute dinner? And apparently the answer is yes, it does. Showtime, of course, wins the late game, but it was very close. And you can kind of just see Reynor's trying to build up that experience, but I think those Hydras staying on the ramp and then just basically refusing to fight Showtime front on when he pushes, probably the key. Easier said than done. Very hard to pull off in the heat of the action, but it's one of those things that can be nice. Oh, there's no defense in the bottom right. There's no army down here. Zealots find it. So Showtime finds the top left at the same time. He's trying to run drones to the bottom right now is Reynor, but the bottom right is also getting evicted. No recall for Zerg. And of course, he doesn't have Nidus Worm set up everywhere on the map anymore. These drones are even frozen. And I think it's just going to be trying to make 5 Broods to deal with the ground. Got plenty of Corruptors to deal with the Tempests. He's got some gas money. Does he still have a Spire, by the way? I don't think he's got any tech. He's got a Hydra Den and a Lurker Den that are both bleeding out as they're off creep. You can see the hit points dropping. Wow, there's a lot of blood coming out of that Lurker Den. Hot diddly. Dude, did he just stop throbbing? I swear he was throbbing more. Oh, yeah, you could see them, like, breathing really good. They're like, oh, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. And then they just stop. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that they're, like, when they're really damaged, they'll, like, spaz out for a few seconds, and then they'll just go back to chilling. 1 more Lurkers on the way. 5 Broods, 5 Corruptors, and a Hydra. Oh, finding the overlords as well. Just another thing in a base trade. If those overlords all get found, makes it very hard. The only 2 probes left in the game for Showtime, long distance mining. It's just a matter of him going down to that base and finishing it off. Reynor's like, you haven't had any mining forever, man. But you know, we always talk about ZVP. As a Zerg, the goal is to beat the Protoss army. Everything else you do is just a means to an end. And if you don't focus on that as your win condition, and the one thing that really is the only way to seal the deal, then you will get very frustrated in this matchup because you'll be like, well, I killed his workers, I killed his economy. I wiped out his 5th base 10 times. But if you aren't ever using that pressure to like lure his army into the open and surround it, that there's still the main problem hasn't been dealt with, right? You've basically finished a whole bunch of side quests, which as cool as it is not enough. There's like, by the way, the kills on these Protoss units are crazy. I don't know if you guys saw us clicking on them. A ton of these guys have 30 plus kills. There's a 32 kill Immortal, 30 kill Archon. It's like a snipe on the Tempest goes down for those Corruptors. No Great Aspire can't make any more Broodlords than these. He's trying to Archon drop them. Showtime. What the hell? Mothership's up to 26 kills. Immortal's on 22. Another one on 19. That orange hit point Archon's almost dead. It has 18 kills. So close to going down. These Broodlings hovering around. And these Broodlings trying to take out an Immortal. Can they get rid of it? Archon coming in. The Oracle as well. Trying to drop with the Prism. Corruptors go after the Prism. They can't quite take care of it. Lurker's had some fantastic damage. Those Broods need to keep started stepping. Mama's going to push through on her own, is she? Oh no, she is, isn't she? Because if you fight with the Corruptors, he's dropping Archons on top. Archons get a few hits on the Broods. Queen is there as well. The Brood's trying to fight this. Dude, Reynor putting up an incredibly strong last stand. I thought with just 5 Broods he can do it, but those 2 Lurkers did so much damage. Oh my gosh, that was surprisingly close at the end there. Of course, not having an answer to the Mothership though, and once she's got that +3, her damage stacks up. She was on 41 kills at the end of that game. GG, well played. Showtime takes game 1. All right, nice game 1 there for Showtime. You know, it's so weird because I feel like no matter how defensive and safe and turtle you are, Reynor always finds a way to just get in there with the multi-prong and find good damage. I still think it's crazy that he lets it go to late game like that so much. I've seen him do it a lot recently, and I'm like, man, it's so brave. But like I said, if he's doing it with the mindset of, hey, I just want to become an expert at this stage of the game, then it is very high-quality practice, especially against a guy like Showtime, called Demour for a reason. The wall. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, have to be muting my mic here and there just to let out a nice little bit of a burpy burp. I had a good run this morning, and I decided to be greedy afterwards and went and got some McDonald's breakfast after from the drive-thru. Pretty, you know, nothing, you know, makes you immediately reverse any positive effects of a bit of physical exercise, like just slamming some really high-quality food into your body. And now here I am, my body's like burping and just going, ah! What did you do, man? Nah, it's not that bad. Are you guys team bacon and egg McMuffin or like a sausage and egg McMuffin? Anyway, I don't know. I guess it's probably a different menu wherever you are in the world anyway. I think I'm slightly team bacon, but I think it's better if you just combine. Do both in one. All right, pretty standard opening for Showtime. He's got that wall off there with the recessed cybercore protected a little bit behind the gateway. And of course, second gas goes down. And he's pulled 1 off minerals this earlier to get dudes on gas. But back to 16 now, and of course that pylon should start up here on 22. Builds in a nice central location. You can build a lot of production off that, and you can power a battery in the mineral line if you need to. Not that you need to do that very often, but occasionally against the Zerg cheese you do. Now, of course, he's forced Reynor to take the 3rd. We do expect Showtime to do the Showtime move, which is Chrono 2 Adept straight at your opponent. People usually like to do this once in a while to mix it in, to catch their opponent off guard. And just see if his defense is quite right. Showtime's like, I'll do it every game. You'll know it's coming. And I just know that it's hard for you to deal with. For him, he feels like, look, if I just let the Zerg drone, it's better for them. If I do this, I can still get a good economy up, but I just don't give any free room for the Zerg to build that economy in the early stage. And if they slip up even a little, I can get way ahead with the double adept, which is why you can see he's done a 2nd chrono. Now he goes into chronoing probes. First adept does start to make its way 4th. Now you can see once again what I said. 3rd queen goes down before 3rd hatchery. If you guys are still playing kind of how we used to play a few years ago, you might do it the other way around. But especially in this matchup, with this as your exposed natural expansion and having to deal with a double Chrono Adept, it's kind of like the combination of factors where, even though this is pretty standard in Pro's EVP right now, it becomes pretty much a necessity. If you're on a small to medium map like Leylines, number 1. Number 2, they're double chronoing Adepts. And number 3, your Naturals at your 3rd because you got blocked in the start. You're like, okay, we should probably try and take some safety precautions. Oh, are there no Lings? Okay, no, there are 4 Lings in the main. The Queen didn't move preemptively, though. I don't like that. I feel like the Queen has to track the Shades. She's your only range damage available. As long as he only loses... Oh, he's going to lose another. All right. Only... It's 2 drones. How many Lings? Oh, sorry, guys. I should bring... I'm always so curious. It was 4. Great trade for Showtime if he saves the Adept. Big if, though. I like that he targeted the low hit point Zergling, but Reynor does get him. I think this is acceptable for Reynor. It's obviously not ideal. He has built, you could argue, a few too many Overlords here, but I think it's way better to have a few too many Overlords and have your droning uninterrupted than it is to be getting supply blocked. And 3rd Nexus is never that early for Showtime, so you can absorb a little bit of damage. So far in this series, the Oracles have not found a lot. Right? I think it was 3 drones, and that was only when they came in with the Phoenix. This time it is a triple Oracle build, by the way. Now, I'm really curious to hear everyone's thoughts in the comments, because I saw someone saying that triple Oracle defends Queen Walk. Apparently that's like a standard thing. And I was asking about this the other day, and I really got to like message some of the pros. Hold on. Oracle dive. Comes in. Oh, nice Spore Tricks by Reynor. Oracles only get 1 drone. Sorry, the camera follow didn't really show us much of what happened there, did it? Normally I get a bit lazy and rely on that camera follow. Those Oracles are so quick, they kind of get ahead of the camera. So that was only a couple of drones. Not a big deal. Good cancels on the Spores. The Adepts are going to shade in, though. There's only a few Zerglings out, but those 2 Queens doing a very good job. And, oh, gotta help out. There we go. That Adept goes down. Nicely done. Yeah, so I was thinking, and someone said in my chat when I mentioned, I was like, how the hell do Oracles defend a Queen Walk? The whole point of a Queen Walk is to beat the Oracles, right? If you walk 4 Queens across the map, 5 Queens, Oracles are never beating that, right? Even if you have a little bit of battery healing and that sort of stuff. And I was like, oh, and someone was like, well, try moving out without losing all of your drones for the Queen Walk. And I was like, I mean, number 1, do you care about losing some drones? And someone was like, well, yeah, because then you're all in. And I was like, aren't you all... I mean, you're not super all in with a Queen Walk. You're pretty friggin' committed. I don't know. I really want... I got to investigate and ask a few more pros about this, because I'm like... Usually I would expect double Oracle. Gives you good scouting, good harassment, stasis traps / bit of laser beams if the Lings run ahead of the push, and gets you a bit quicker into Blink and Stalkers and things like that. I always thought that would be a bit more optimal to defend. Obviously, if it's a Hatchery Tech, Queen Walk, Dark Templar is amazing. If you somehow have the read, that's what they're going to do. I know Estrella beat Dark a few times with that back in the day. 4th Hatchery down the bottom. +1 range and Roaches on the way. Ladies and gentlemen, do I sense a Roach Max? Here come those 3 Oracles. Oh, they find the rally. But good Spore Trick. Even cancels and builds an Evo to make sure it can't get focused down after that. And he's going to grab, oh, a bunch more drones. 5 drones. 5 drones doesn't lose an Oracle. Roach Speed is on the way. 5 more drones do get rebuilt. But notice... Okay, there we go. More drones do queue up, which means an Infestation Pit or a Spire is probably going to go down momentarily. 11 more... What? But he's making Overlord speed. Oh, is Reynor... What? He's going to take 8 gases. What is this? So it looks like Reynor wants to do a Queen drop Roach Ravager attack because of the Overlord speed. On the other hand, he's taking 8 gases. He's droning pretty damn hard. But yeah, he's going back to Roacher, so it's going to be like an 80 drone kind of... These gases are fake. They're specifically... He wants him to think it's Mutas or Fast Hive. Because if you see the 8 gas, what are you thinking as Showtime goes? Mutas or Fast Hive? You're not thinking, oh, it's a Roach Max. So he takes a 4th. He's got 4 High Templar Gathering Energy. He's got a few Stasis Traps. But he might be thinking like Second Forge, all that sort of stuff. Whereas what he needs to be doing right now, Showtime needs to be warping in Stalkers and making Pylons nonstop. Because it is a Roach Max Queen attack. It's going to be, I think, 6 or 7 Queens dropped across. He's making Charge. He's building a Robo. He's making a Fleet Beacon. Yeah, dude, just by showing them 7th and 8th gas, Showtime's completely tricked. He comes in, he sees not that many drones on the 4th. He might be sensing now. He does, yeah, he builds some batteries. Yes, they're mostly on the 4th. He sees no hive. He knows. Stalkers start warping, but remember, there's already that big gap. There's already that big gap. I think he knows what's happening. He does reveal there. He sees a few queens just chilling out. They don't get hit by the tag, though. It's go time. Oh, he's not even going to drop. He's just going to use the purple highway. I think the Overlords maybe should have moved across slightly fast, but that is A-okay. A lot of stasis traps. Setting those off is going to be crucial. It is 17 Stalkers, 4 High Templar, and a field of stasis traps. A bunch of cannon battery up north, but look at his natural wall. No cannon battery on the natural. And that's where Raider's going to attack in. He eats a stasis, not again. This series has been all about the stasis traps. He's getting hit by them one more time. He's trying to dance in and out here. Those lings, though, obstructing his units, limiting his micro potential. Very annoying for him to deal with. And this is buying a lot of time for Showtime. I think Showtime could maybe layer some cannon battery in the natural. He's going to have to rebuild the Cybercore. Is Showtime. You can see he's coming forward, trying to control this area. Cybercore starts to get rebuilt behind the wall off. Now the Storm does go down on the Roach Ravager. Good micro so far by Showtime, but he does need to keep on making High Templar and energy recharging, I think, even in the midst of this. Because you can see now he's completely out of Storms for the moment. He's morphed 2 of them into an Archon since they got stuck at the front. And that is a mass of Ravagers. 18 Ravagers. There's so many Corrosive Biles available. Stasis Trap there on the right side. Love to see him. Yeah, single Zergling sets that off. He breaks the wall open. But 2 more Storms are now ready on this left side. You can see those High Templar coming forwards. They're dancing in and out. Those 2 Storms there. And remember, energy recharge is ready soon. New Stasis Trap goes off. Blocks the left side. That could work for Reynor, though. Reynor can now push into the right side a bit deeper. Does take down 1 Oracle with Corrosive Bile. At the same time, Showtime comes in on this left side. Does land a Storm, but not a big one. And you can see Reynor's breaching the right side. Another Stasis goes down, but he's biling. He's hitting the mineral line. These guys are kind of blocking Showtime's army as well, making it really hard for him to move over. But the Stalkers will take out those Ravagers as they pop out of this. Roach rallies up that left side. Biles all over the place. He's got to be careful about these Oracles getting strung out, though. That Oracle on the right side does take down a bunch of Ravagers. It's got 15 kills, does that Oracle, but already 18 workers have gone down. Showtime on 4 bases. If he can defend, he could be okay, but that is a massive if right now, because Reynor is on 75 workers and rallying Roach Ravager Queen across this map, plus 2 Rangers on the way. Mum is trying to build, but he's just showing the 8 gas and getting Showtime to stave off the Stalker warp-ins, the extra Templar warp-ins, and to go Mothership was absolutely crucial. Reynor putting out some fake information there, tricking Showtime, follows up with a big old simple attack. Doesn't have much tech to follow this up. Doesn't have an Infestation Pit, doesn't have a Spire, doesn't have any 5th base until just now that he started. But he finds the window with the Ravagers, the Queen's there to cover against the Oracles, some Zerglings mixed in as well for good measure. Essentially, it's a mass Ravager timing. And you know what? The 8 gases actually help with that, guys. He's actually mining. It's not even a fake out. It's kind of like, it is a fake out, but it also helps you make an insane amount of Ravagers, which is kind of hilarious. So it's a 2-for-1 value deal build that Reynor's gone for here. That I want to make 100 Ravagers. Also, I want you to think I'm teching up. And it looks like Showtime just lacks the damage to hang on. His Oracle micro has been impeccable. The fact that Showtime is still alive is a testament to how patient this man is. I think it's always funny because in these sort of scenarios, I feel like Hero either wins or loses a lot quicker usually. So he'll just shove in with his army and be like, YOLO, see if I can make something happen. He kind of knows he's got to make something big happen, and sometimes he'll decapitate himself in the process. Showtime a bit more stable and calm, but just caught off guard. Did not realize what Reynor was doing for a bit too long. All right, guys, we got Persephone now. Showtime in the top left, Reynor in the bottom left. This series will be decided on this one. And I wonder if Showtime probably goes Gate Scout. I actually would love him to go Gas first and skip Scouting. He's doing a little bit of speed mining in the middle. It's so funny, man. I really want to keep an eye on Cyril's games at EWC and see if he starts doing that speed mining. Because and this is a Gas first, no Scout, by the way. Good mix up for Showtime. Yeah, because Cyril said he hates it. He thinks the speed mining micro is stupid, and if it ever gets to the point where he can't be competitive without doing that, then, you know, he's like, really that much effort to get like a few minerals? He's like, you know, even Cyril thinks it's ridiculous. But I didn't think Showtime would be doing it. You know, Showtime is fast, but he's not one of these spammy kids. No offense, Reynor and Clem, but Reynor and Clem are 100% these spammy kids. Very fast, love clicking, trigger, very, very quick. These guys all love playing Osu, you know, these mouse accuracy click games. Make boomers like me make our heads want to explode. Nexus does start in the top. Now, there's kind of a really cool thing, guys, because you got to think Showtime now has to worry because you could just be teching up like game one. What looks very similar, though, is it's a Roach Max. There is a difference, and that's if there's Roach Tech. If Reynor once again has +1 melee Zerglings, he can still hit a big attack around then, and there's a bit of fear of that, but maybe not quite as much of such a delayed attack as what happened in that last game. As you could kind of see that Showtime was just caught off guard completely. Well, 2 queens do start up. Extra Overlord beginning here just after those on 26 supply. Overlord here going to hang out on the pillar on Persephone. And of course, Chronoing an Adept. Not a surprise. Stargate at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I think sometimes you can even get that at like 2 minutes and 7 seconds off a gas first. It's just wild how efficient the no scout gas first build is. You might be wondering, why is gas first better? Well, it's just if you have 1 extra worker the whole time because you haven't sent anything across the map, you just if you don't take the gas before the gateway, it just ends up you've got extra probes that aren't mining very efficiently on minerals. Whereas if you take that gas a little bit earlier, it just allows 1 or 2 workers to start mining that way faster, and then you can, get your Stargate really quickly while chronoing Adepts across. And your Warp Gate's also a few seconds faster. So everything clicks a little nicer, and you can see he just chronoed 1 Adept. So he's just going to have a poke. Oh, no, it was 2. Never mind. Pig's blind. All right, Oracle starts. Chrono Boost should be going down in that momentarily. About 3 seconds when he gets that Chrono available. See that bar speed up. Adept's going to go for a bit of a divey dive. Zerglings do not have Ling speed yet. Queen's getting great damage, though. Surely he's not going to commit. He does. Brave boy. Showtime wants the damage. Reynor with a beautiful dodge. Very slick. Can he kill that guy? Blocks it. Great. I think he loses 1 drone. 1 drone, 1 Zergling for 2 Adepts. Shut down. Great start for him. Showtime now flying south with an Oracle. Second one's on the way. Second gateway for the wall off completion. He's going to go forward to get ready to take the third, but the Lings are coming in that direction. First Oracle flying towards the main, and oh my gosh, look at that spore placement. I guess that was the one he built because he was trying to dodge the Adept. I thought he had another spore, so I thought he would have cancelled it, but he didn't yet. And Oracle only gets itself 1 drone. It's deep in the... Oh my gosh. Oh, no, he's going to lose it. Oh, that's really bad. Oh, this early game is a disaster for Showtime. A terrible, terrible start. His wall's wide open right now as well. Does have a 3rd Oracle on the way and 2 Adepts. Oh, he doesn't get the warp in time. The Oracle's there, so it's fine, I think. He shouldn't lose any probes, or at most 1. Good probe micro in the main, but the Lings run away. Reynor's micro is excellent. And it looks like, at the end of the day, doesn't get any probes there. It's a good defense by Showtime, but he's still stuck on his side of the map against a guy who's got +1 melee. More drones on the way. I wouldn't be surprised to see Reynor send a drone to the 4th hatchery. He has been a little... One small thing I'd love Reynor to do is send his drone to the 4th earlier. Because we've kind of seen him do the thing where he'll be like, oh, I have 500 minerals. And you'll see him select a drone and tell it to place a hatchery, which, as you know, just a bit inefficient to have all that money sitting around. Takes a while to get there as well. Whereas if you send it when you have no minerals, you have 275 as it arrives, it can be a little cleaner. Of course, it can be hard to predict when you're going to want to start that 4th, depending on how much the Protoss commits to annoying harassment. Steps come in, force the drones to run away, and they also scare them in range of the Oracles. So 3 drones do fall. Great damage for Showtime. Very necessary after how bad his early game was. He's now going Glaives and +1. It's the latest Glaive Adept timing of all time. He changes to +1 armor. Because he realizes +1 attack doesn't help much against Zerglings. Dude, that's actually so smart. +1 armor destroys Lings. And it destroys Queens as well. Queens do 2 × 4 damage against ground. You take that to 2 × 3. That's a 25% damage reduction against Queens. You go from 5 damage from a Zergling down to 4. That, of course, is also a massive reduction there. I believe Adepts have a base armor as well. And obviously, it's only on the 70 hit points that you have. Not a massive amount of hit points on an Adept compared to, say, a Zealot. A Stalker has 80 hit points, 80 shields. Zealot, 100 hit points, 50 shields. But if he chronos the heck out of that, he could do good. He's kind of adding it for the next step, though. This is an Adept all-in. I mean, Showtime has basically said, I had a bad start, but I got a bit of damage. I do not want to let you take this gold base on the right. Baneling Nest is coming in. Oh, it's going to be Banes against Mass Adept. I think Mass Adept actually beats Banes. Oh, that's a lot of Adepts. He's seen a lot of Adepts. 16 more Lings on the way. He's making Banes. He's making Banes, but not a lot of gas in the bank right now for Reynor. He needs to put all of his gas into Banelings. He realizes there is a frightening amount of Adepts on the map, and it's only going to get worse. I feel like as Showtime, you need to just... You're kind of 100% committed. You just need to keep going here and hold down that Adept key, but that's not really Showtime's MO. It's kind of like a sloppy Adept type timing that he's going for. The shade forwards. I don't think he sees the Banes. He might just chill out and back out of this. Templar Archives is not being made, though, with no Psystorm. I don't know if a transition feels good for him. Hydroden's already making an upgrade. Showtime, he's kind of stuck here. He feels like he has to keep committing. Now, you can fight Lingbane with Mass Adept, but because he's hitting so late, Hydras are going to start to hit the field, adding very important damage. Not to mention, the Lingbane count is growing. I think if you're hitting at 6 minutes, maybe 6.5 at the latest, and starting to force the fight, so that's good. We're getting past 7 minutes, 7:15. It feels like he may be missing his window, and the longer he takes to get Storm going, the harder it's going to be. Templar Archives is almost finished. Lingbane is ready. 5 more Banes coming in. It's going to be 11 Banelings. Lots of Hydras starting to come out. Drones transferring, a high-risk economy transfer in the midst of this over that gold base. 11 workers on the golden. Ooh, the Lings! Okay, the Banelings didn't get the absolute best hit. The Bane's pulling back. Reynor. Oh, I guess he doesn't care. He gets a good enough surround. More Adepts coming in that side, though. Dude, he killed a lot of Adepts. There's so many more. They have to get out, though, before the Banes are here. They have to get out before the Banes are on top. And you can see he is going to pull back with those. I think canceling the Shade's probably the right play, but he actually commits. They're kind of spread out, so it's not the worst trade for Showtime. It's the Hydras that are the problem, though. Bane's trying to get in the middle. They get a few juicies on them. Queen Zergling Hydra trying to take care of these. Hydras moving up on that. More Adepts coming on the 4th base. Reynor does have a good counter-attack of Zerglings at the same time, but can he get on top of this? The Hydras do not have Groove Spines. They've just got the movement speed. The Ling's getting on top with the +1 melee, doing all right. 9 drones have gone down, but that gold base is still there. Reynor desperately trying to get through this wall off the Adept, trying to hold it, but oh no, he's through! He's through! He's through! He's through! The Lings are inside! Mass Adept warp in goes at home. The Lings are not going to stand and fight. They're going to run past, but the Hydras have finally shut these Adepts down. Yes, they could shade in here, but that would be a mistake. Of course, Showtime too busy dealing with Lings in all of his bases at home. The Adepts trying to get on top of it. 11 probes have fallen, and he's not done yet. The Reynor Zerglings are tearing it apart. 15 probes go down. Yes, he's lost 10 drones, but he's got a gold base mining, and he brings it up to 18. Those last 2 Zerglings, absolute chads. Both of them with a probe kill each. The Lingbane Hydra going to get ready for the counterattack. Showtime knows this game has gone awry, and that was unfortunate early game for Showtime. Remember, losing the 2 Adepts early into that next step, it felt like because he does so much of his standard opening with the block into the other stuff, maybe this opening, just the timings are a little different. I think there's so this is something I noticed in my play, because I used to play a lot more like Showtime, and I wonder if it applies at such a high level as Showtime's, but I remember I used to play like Showtime. I'd do the same build over and over and over until everything was like clockwork. But one thing I noticed is when I wouldn't do that build, when I'd vary it for a very interesting strategic reason, I'd be much worse at it, and I'd make these like little basic mistakes that I was like not doing when I'd do the normal version of the build. And so I'd feel even more locked in to doing the same thing every game, and it felt like my range was getting less and less as a player. So over the last year, pretty much all of my Protoss play, I've been trying to play much more loose. Not quite as chaotic as Hero, of course, but kind of inspired by Hero in that I realized, like, look, if sometimes I probe scout, sometimes I don't probe scout, sometimes I pylon scout, sometimes I gate scout, sometimes I don't scout at all, sometimes I go gas first, no scout. I just change my opening and kind of not prioritize efficiency, but prioritize on just getting used to many different opening starts. Because it felt like this one here, he took way too much damage with those Adepts before he even shaded in, and just didn't find nearly as much damage. I would have liked to see him just pull back, let the shields regen. You know, you force the Lings out. It sucks to not do direct damage, but I think losing those 2 Adepts is much worse, as this slows down his 3rd, and then the Oracle going down behind it felt like things just went from bad to worse. I don't know if that's partially the build order, like I said. Oh, he doesn't play much of the gas first no scout, plays it in game 3, has a way worse outcome at the start of the game. But just a little theory there. You guys let me know what you think. And which style do you prefer playing as well? Either way, hats off to Reynor, guys. Courted late game in game 1 against Showtime. Decided that might not be the best idea in game 2 and game 3. Got a little bit more aggressive, a bit more high tempo play, and gets the 2-1. GG, well played. Reynor takes down Showtime. GG.